One. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Cinematic Dawgs podcast.
Yay! Yippee!
You know it, my friends. Woo!
Woo.
That's
Who
a
wants to
good way
start
to
us
start
off?
Camden can start.
What have you been watching, Cam?
All right, mi amigos. So we've been off on a break for a little bit, but throughout the week, all I've been really doing is watching a whole bunch of my MacBook screen. But I did recently watch again Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I think that is probably one of the more underrated sequels that I think people don't give a lot of credit to. I really love the storyline. It's pretty enthusiastic overall for a sequel.
Where'd you go?
Oh no, sequels still live on in my opinion. Not every movie needs a sequel, Zach.
Yeah, like Joker.
Hey, bro. You'll change your tune whenever it comes out.
You have to agree. It should not have gotten a sequel.
Well, $1 billion and an Oscar nomination changes things, Zach.
It's an Oscar win. Thank you very much. Not an Oscar
True.
nomination.
Actually, 2 Oscar wins. That's crazy.
And especially
the score, I think. Yeah, the score
and
is fucking amazing.
Yes, sir.
I love
it's
that.
going to be even better with Joaquin and Lady Gaga singing over it.
Oh no.
Go kill yourself. No.
No.
It's going to be great.
No, it's not.
Cam, turn on your 5G, brother. You're cutting in and out.
I just got that right away from y'all. Yeah. We are on 5G. We are bueno.
Okay, cool.
But again,
Chamber
Zach, like I was
Secret
saying though,
it's so good.
Zach, still first R-rated movie to hit $1 billion though. That's one reason why the sequel's worthy.
True.
I don't think the sequel should have been made.
I mean, it didn't need it, but I still think I'm very excited to see it. Obviously, because Joker is still one of the best comic book movies out there. So
without a doubt.
I mean, but Todd Phillips is known for running franchises into the ground with its unneeded sequels. So
I mean, that's true, but he's only done it once, so we really can't say he's known for it.
And plus, we can't go toot off our own horn, for example. But really, as long as it's DC aligned too, you can think of it. Any storyline can go anywhere it wants. There's not really a one size fits all barrier for that.
That is true. I know a lot of people thought there's like a storyline with 3 Jokers, and a lot of people thought that that's what this was going to be. So maybe like if this movie makes a bunch of money and they want to come back for a third, they could do a third. And whenever they were talking about like the 3 Jokers thing, Willem Dafoe's name was coming up. So I mean, that who wouldn't want to see Joaquin Phoenix, Willem Dafoe, and like somebody else playing the Joker? I think that'd be pretty dope.
Willem Dafoe would have been classic, 100%.
For sure. But I have been watching. I watched last night. I watched Cruella, and I think that movie's pretty good. And since we were just talking about the Joker, that movie and the Joker are pretty much like the same film, except Cruella is Disney movie, so it's like PG-13. But other than that, they're pretty similar in that. And I also rewatched Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and it's still top of the year so far for me. And yeah, I love it. Zach, how about you?
Like Emma Watson.
Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah, Emma Stone. She's so good.
My 4 most recent watches are I watched BS High tonight. Tonight. A documentary on HBO about a con man. Then I watched The Nun 2 days ago, which is awful. Hell House LLC, which is the best found footage film I think I've ever seen. It's up there with Blair Witch Project.
Okay, found footage horror or just found footage?
Horror.
Okay, I was about to say
Cloverfield is the best found footage I've ever seen.
Hey, I think Chronicle is better.
I haven't seen Chronicle, so that's probably why.
I haven't seen it yet either.
Chronicle is amazing. There
is that other Zoom horror movie also made by Zach Kreger. I I think
No,
it's called Ghost or something like that.
it's directed by Rob Savage. He did Dash Cam and
Rob
Boogeyman.
Savage. That's right. Dashcam I've
Zach
heard is
Cregger
very, very.
did Barbarian, and that's the only film he's ever done, other than The Whitest Kids, you know.
Mm, it's definitely up there with my horror movies, but I gotta give a lot more credit to the people who really are behind the cameras with that type of camera work, and even the Blair Witch Hunt. Obviously, we can't go tooting off of that, but it's probably up there with mine.
I
Yeah,
love the Blair Witch Project so much.
I've never seen that movie.
What?
I
How
My
have you
know.
guy,
never seen the Blair Witch
you're missing
Project?
I don't know. I just have never watched it.
Bro, it's on Max.
Well, maybe I'll give it a watch when Halloween comes around.
It's only an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's true.
No, no,
I've been
don't do this to
trying to watch
me,
The
please.
Exorcist, so I think that's the next horror film I'll
Yeah, The
watch.
Exorcist, I'm gonna watch that one before I watch the new one.
Yeah, same.
And then I watched Saw for the first time.
Yeah.
If I wasn't ruined on that twist, that would have been one of the best twists in horror history.
For
It
sure.
is still, but
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a really good twist. Man, that movie like spawned like two goats in horror cinema. They spawned Lee Winnell and it spawned James Wan. So like that movie is like hate it or love it, hate this series or love the series. It's like it's iconic and it's led down a good path for horror,
This
even
is
if you don't
really
like it.
off topic, but I just want to know what's your favorite what's it called? Twist ending. What's your favorite twist ending?
Oh, damn. Okay, that's a pretty good question.
Dang. I think I
Does it have to
have
be
one. Oh, yeah, I got one.
Zach? Does it have to be horror, or can it be any genre?
It can be anything. It can be anything.
Well, I'll say mine, but unfortunately, I'm not allowed to talk about it because it's Fight Club. So,
Yeah.
We don't talk about Fight Club,
no, you don't talk about
unfortunately.
Fight Club.
Mm.
But if I did,
Yeah,
I would say that that's a great
Fight Club.
twist, and it is.
Yeah, it is.
I think one of my top favorites. I don't know. It's been out for a while now. Probably Knives Out. I think that
That
movie.
twist is awesome.
Yeah, I think colloquially that movie is up there with my mystery films. I've seen very little mystery films in a bit, but I think Ryan Johnson though he's one of the quintessential directors of our generation. And
Mm-hmm.
Last Jedi, Last Jedi's up there forever. I don't care about the rest of Star Wars after that.
Yep.
Dang.
Damn.
Sorry.
I hate to be basic, but I really like the Sixth Sense ending.
M. Night Shyamalan is a goat at twists.
Mm.
I guess to be a little bit different, one of the ones that really messed me up, that like a really twist ending, I'm gonna have to say, God, um, I honestly don't know.
I got one. I think that it's pretty good. I think the
What you got,
it's
homie?
not really a twist. It's like it's not like plot. Oh, it is kind of plot changing. It just like gives you a new perspective at the end of the film, which I guess
Hmm.
is what the twist is. But I think Arrival
Yeah,
has a very like it's like less of a twist and more like of a realization moment where something crazy happens and it all sets in and you're like, oh my god, and then the movie just changes like your perspective completely.
bro, that's bodies for me.
Oh, true. That's a great twist too. Yeah. So
It's one of the dumbest twists I've ever seen. It's still one of the funniest ones I've ever seen.
I don't care because that movie is so like I feel like if that movie had like better marketing or something, it could be our generation's or it could be like a cult classic in the future. It could be our generation's like Scream because of how
That's what it
like
was billed as.
Yeah.
That's people went in expecting that, and then they got very disappointed.
Well, I think it's funnier. Well, it's definitely a funnier film, but I think it's just like it does encapsulate like our generation very
Yeah.
well. And like obviously we're talking speaking of this, we're gonna do a nice little transition here. That movie has Rachel Sennett, who is also in the film that we were talking about today. But that film introduced us to her, and then we went back and watched Shiva Baby, or at least introduced her to me.
And then
Um,
that Bottoms, which is the movie we're talking about today, was
yes,
directed by the director of Shiva Baby, who also co-wrote that with Rachel Sennett, who also co-wrote Shiva Baby with her.
yes,
So
yes, and also a little fun fact before we get into this whole thing: Ayo Ebadiri and Rachel Sennett were roommates in NYU, which is kind of crazy.
that makes sense.
Yeah. So Emma and Rachel were both NYU students, and that's when they decided to make Shiva Baby. And then they were like, "Oh yeah, Ayo, hey, you trying to make a movie with us?" And they made Bottoms, and it's
It's so good.
definitely one of the best comedies of the year.
It is the best comedy of the year.
It's really tough, though. I
It's
think.
between Joyride and Bottoms.
Cam, is Cam cut out on your screen too?
Camden, Camden, Camden. There he goes.
Oh,
All right,
oh
that's
no,
great.
that's not good.
No, it's not.
um, but yeah, what were we talking about? Yeah, it is between that and Joyride. I think they're pretty close, but I think just because I appreciate how insane Bottoms gets, like even though I really love Joyride and I think it's different, it very much has a very like comedy movie outline, and
Hmm.
it's like kind of cookie cutter, but it's really
Hmm.
not at the same time. Like I still love that movie, but just comparing that to Bottoms is it's just a little it's harder to like
Yeah,
Joyride better than Bottoms.
that's true. I. It's difficult because we also have Blackberry in there, which is amazing.
I still haven't
That's
seen that.
it's so good.
I know I want to so bad.
It's is it? I'm not sure. No, it's a comedy. It's a dramedy.
Is it? Yeah, I mean that makes sense. And then also this year, what else did we have? I feel like this year has been a very good comedic movie. I mean, I guess if you count it, Barbie is pretty much a
Yeah,
comedy, and
very
that's
funny.
my top four. So that's I guess that's my favorite comedy then this year. I
It's
think
Rylan.
very
TMNT
societal comedy.
is a comedy. Rylane's a comedy. Guardians is a dramedy, I would say.
Guardians is an action comedy more.
That's true. Asteroid City comedy. We've had a pretty good year. Dungeons and Dragons, I guess, is action comedy, but that's a really funny film.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's really good. So yeah, I think we've had a really good year when it comes to comedy, and like that's very inspiring to see because like the last 15 years people have been talking about how the comedy movie age is dead, and I just
Mhm.
think like that's this year alone we have proved that is just false.
It
And
didn't
that,
die. It just got a Gen Z rebrand.
exactly, it took a little break and now we're back to our regular scheduled programming. Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. Mhm. we
But
got we got that Gen Z rebrand for because Bottoms is such a Gen Z movie.
it is, and
Such a Gen Z movie.
it's so good though.
It
But
is. It's
oh
like
my
our
god,
It was
generation's
up there with my
American
comedy movie.
Pie.
Mean Girls. It's kind of like our generation's Mean Girls.
That's true. That's true.
I really liked it. Obviously, Ayo and Rachel are both phenomenal in this film.
Hmm.
Who else is in this cast though? Let's see. We got Marshawn Lynch. I know that for
He's
sure.
so good.
He
He's
is so
so funny.
funny, and apparently he had. When I looked up the fun facts for this movie, I saw that he had improvised the majority of his lines.
Of course
Like
he did.
dude was not trying that hard to stay on script. He was improvising most of the time. Let's see here. Who else is here? So we got Ruby Cruz, and she was in.
Willow.
She was in Willow. Yes. Uh, Havana Rose Leo, Kaya Gerber,
I
who
think it's
played
Lou
Brittany.
because
Lou.
Lucy Lou
Oh
because
yeah, true.
Lou felt that way.
Oh, and then, in my opinion, the funniest character in the film was Nicholas Galitzine, who played Jeff, and I think he kind of stole the show for me.
Jeff is so funny in that.
He is hilarious. He every time he goes on screen, you're laughing at him. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think he's great.
Hi, Camden.
Hello, Cam. Welcome back.
You're back.
Oh, I'm back. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah, I blacked out again. Sorry for the little delay in show, but clapboard, we're officially back. So yay.
Cam is back. All right, Cam. We were just talking about our thoughts on the movie. Go ahead and tell us about yours.
Yeah.
Okay, so regarding bottoms, this is the very first time I've heard of the actresses to be specific. Was it Janelle Sanat? Did I pronounce it
Rachel.
right?
Rachel Sennett.
Rachel Sanat. I saw them first in a Comedy Central skit, and I honestly thought I was kind of blown away by the fact that it was LGBTQ representation and super raunchy as fuck too. I thought this movie really blew away all my stellar expectations. I like the fact that the design overall, it felt a lot like a theater production, but it felt a lot Mean Girls esque, like it was following that type of high school esque type of vibe that we have on, its immaturity at its time. We're having a bunch of metaphor type based humor. Obviously, it's centered in the raunchiness itself to make itself seem appealing like that. I overall think though that it definitely has some super bad comic vibes to it, and I think this is probably up there with how comedy's really going towards Hollywood nowadays. I
Yeah.
think it was perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think this movie. I do think this movie is more closer to Mean Girls than Superbad, but I do see what you're talking about, and you did say Mean Girls, so yeah. But it's like a high school comedy, of course, so it obviously is going to get those comparisons. But I think this movie is so like fantasy, which I really enjoyed because, like, obviously, if we're gonna get into spoilers here, but if somebody had fallen onto a sword and had completely annihilated their life away from them, that it would not be like a clap moment. It would be like, oh my god, this is insane. There's a
Yeah.
bloodbath going on. Where the police?
Mm-hmm.
But I love the fantasy elements of this, even if they're like some people I could see this, some people taking it very goofy and taking it so literally that they see it as a con, but I think it's so funny, and it's just I really loved it.
I really like the direction based too. And to be fair though, to point out, I think they did a couple of Tina Fey references because, like Mean Girls, Tina Fey originally in comedy, she wanted it to be very woman centered and also very like we're not anti men, we're anti patriarchy, but at the same time though we're gonna poke around with that ideal. And I think that's what this movie also hints at a lot because obviously the jocks in the movie, they act a lot like the masculine stereotype all the time. I really like how they're always like, my foot, you almost killed Josh. I
Yes,
really,
that's great.
I like how it's so dramedy based. It's so fantasy induced, like you said before. I really think that's what really pulls the strings with how they don't have to take comedy so seriously like it is now before. Because that's what I think before Hollywood was with comedy movies is that they would make it so serious to the point where they have to make their viewers understand it's a comedy. You're not supposed to take it seriously. Just watch it how you would interpret it, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
agree. um uh Cam, what did you rate this film on Letterboxd?
My first rating for it was 4.5 stars.
um Zach, how about you?
4.5 stars.
You give it I think we all three gave it 4.5 stars. um Zach, what was the 0.5 that like really stopped you from?
Uh, um, I guess it could have been. I guess maybe Huh, that's hard because well, that's difficult. I
I'll
wish I
say,
wish
go ahead.
I wish we got more stuff from Mr. G. That's what I wish. That's what I
Yeah,
wanted.
that's true. I would say like
Marshawn.
I like there was no point, like it is a comedy, but I think the greatest comedies have like a point when they really take the film serious and like you kind of feel it.
Mm,
And there was no point that like really emotionally hit me in this film, and like that's not the point of it. It's like a comedy and stuff. So I'm not like that's. I guess that is a reason why I didn't give it five, but like it just never like emotionally like impacted me to where I'd be thinking about it for months on end. So that's kind of why I didn't give it 5 stars. But it's
yeah,
still a wonderful film, pretty much a flawless film. Other than that,
yeah,
That's on point there.
how about you, Cam?
So I think what really hit me most with kind of avoiding giving it point 0.5, like you said before, it's fantasy based. But the thing with me also is that this movie heavily relies on exaggeration. And I think that's great, especially for a comedy, because comedy is not supposed to be taken seriously. It's very subjective, even to the naked human eye. I really think that this movie can sometimes be, it's very breaking the fourth wall moment some days, and then after that though it's basically like a flaw, it's like a fly in the background on the back of the wall, like it's something that you're going to remember and then you won't remember. Like there's just very few moments that feel like they impact you, but then at the next minute though it's something, can the audience relate to this overall? Like is this something that we could be, that could be happening in real life? Yes, but at the same time though, is it going to have a good impact? Not so much. I mean,
Yeah,
it's easy to poke holes in this movie, though, obviously, because it's not perfect. But comedy-wise, though, it's up there.
yeah, I agree with that. Um, what else were we gonna talk about? I also think this movie is really funny on how like I think this movie is kind of about like how men view feminism, like
yeah.
how some men think that feminism is about literally killing men. And
Yep.
that is just so far from the truth. And so I think that is the funny parts of this movie. And I think that's really dope. And I also, yeah, I love all the representation in this movie as well.
Hmm.
Um, it's really great.
Also, the
There's a,
marketing for this movie was really good.
I agree. I was gonna add too. There's a lot of references to anti-capitalism in this movie. Like I could sniff it without even going back in a trace. It's like a dog trying to look for a bone.
Mm,
I
Yeah.
also thought it was funny because I had watched this. We watched this with my girlfriend, and me and my girlfriend watched Fight Club like a week before, and we thought that this movie was like the women's Fight Club a lot because it's
hmm
kind of funny because Fight Club's about like toxic masculinity, and then this movie is kind of about like I don't really know how to explain it, but it's just got like kind of a same feel. They kind of start like a little fight club, which is what they reference a lot, and then they also like kind of turn it into a little bit of like a cult, and it might go a bit too far, and then like it's all crazy. But
hmm
I think like for what it is, it kind of does remind me of Fight Club a lot, at least the first hour or two or
hmm
hour and a half.
I
Yeah.
wanted to add in with this also though. Fight Club also does have a lot of consumerism references, and par for the course, it's definitely an anti-capitalist film because it rages against the system. I
Yeah,
think what's really smart though about Bottoms though, it's about woman representation overall, but it really has a all gender, like an all gender type of affirmation in this movie. And I think that's what's really smart about the casting options. I don't remember if they starred anyone who was transgender in this movie. I think there was maybe two of them who were, but I think overall though the message that it gets across though, it doesn't have to be explicitly men overall. It can really be anybody who is in the Fight Club overall, because how can you not have a band all together when you can't make up with a little bit, if that makes any sense?
yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what else we're going to talk about? Well, I think I would like to talk about Ayo Badiri and how much of a crazy year she's having.
Oh
Because
my god.
obviously she came out, well, she was in The Bear season 2, which was arguably better than season 1. I think it is probably
It
better than
is.
season 1.
It is.
Um, she's in this movie, which is getting wonderful reviews, and I'm so happy for this movie. And I'm excited to see what this little duo does next with Emma and Rachel. But I hope
Mhm.
Ayo is included in that. She's also in Theater Camp,
Yes,
which
she
got
is.
it got like mixed
Or
reviews, kind of
It got 70. It got mostly positive reviews.
mostly positive. But I
yeah,
think with us, we are all three come from theater, so I think we'll all three very much relate to that film
Mm,
very much. So I think that's exciting. And she is also
we
in
haven't
the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is one of my favorite films of the year. So yeah,
Zach. We're a bunch of ensemble kids discussing left and right. The way you look at it.
yeah.
Oh my! I can't wait to watch it. It looks so freaking raunchy, but I like how realistic it's probably gonna go. I still haven't seen it yet.
It
yeah,
got Cedar Camp has a 3.9 on Letterboxd right now.
yeah, and it's coming on Hulu in the middle of September sometime. So I think we should be able to see it here in a couple of weeks.
No,
Exciting time.
this Friday. It's
This
the
Friday.
yeah.
So from the time
Oh,
we're recording, it comes out September 14th, right? Or
Yeah.
so that's cool. Yeah, very
hey,
nice.
4 days from now. Let's get it.
Yeah, yeah.
I did want to talk about too. I don't remember if I discussed this in a previous episode. I did my review recently for Haunted Mansion. I think overall it's a fairly decent movie. It's obviously a Disney product. It definitely can have its moments where you know where it's going. I think Lakeith Stanfield is the standout. I really think he definitely was given something to get in this movie. I really think that he blends well with the cast, though. Obviously, I forgot the other one. The other characters, Rosario Dawson was one of them. Jared Leto is the Hatbox Ghost. I mean, obviously they gave him CGI for his voice, which was pretty cool. I think the costume designs can get pretty wicked throughout this set, and I also love the idea that they added Easter eggs and stuff. But for a Disney movie, though, it's about what you're gonna expect.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think I just saw that that's coming on to Disney Plus here in a few months. I think October
Mm-hmm.
4th.
Yeah,
So
right about there.
I'm gonna watch it whenever it comes on Disney Plus. But yeah, I was very excited whenever I saw that Lakeith was gonna do that because I know whatever he stars in, it's gonna be at least well acted because he is such a wonderful actor.
Hmm.
And how was like Owen Wilson in that movie? I really like Owen Wilson.
Uh, he's definitely. I don't want to give a spoiler away, but he's a thief because he steals every scene. So that's really the best. I really think he is a underrated aspect of this movie. Owen Wilson is a great actor, though, in my opinion.
He is. If you've never seen Bottle Rocket with Owen Wilson, and that's Wes Anderson's like first film, I think it's. I think that's one of my favorite Owen Wilson performances because he's so crazy in that movie.
I'm gonna add
Um,
that to my watch list next. I think the last one I watched with him was Meet the Fockers. If that did have him in it,
I
it was
think so.
Ben Stiller. It was Ben Stiller and someone else. It was an entire ensemble cast.
Yeah, I think it was Ben Stiller and Rob De Niro, of course.
Hmm.
But I
Nick
don't know if Owen
DeVito.
Wilson's in that film.
Hmm.
But he's normally featured with Ben Stiller, so
Hmm.
Oh,
that makes sense.
speaking of Lakeith, who is excited for the that new Messiah movie coming out? The one
Hot
in
dog was pretty
December.
good.
I
Yeah,
I'm confused. Like I don't know the whole story behind it, so I don't know it yet. But I think whenever it comes out, I'll probably see it.
It's a comedy making fun of the Bible.
Interesting. I like that.
it's
That's
like
good.
it's a full on satire.
That's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah, I'm
people just
excited for that.
started following him for no goddamn reason.
I
Yeah, is Lakeith playing Jesus?
No, he's playing the guy who they mistake for Jesus.
Oh, okay.
like a false prophet type of thing.
That's cool.
He's
Yeah, I
trying to
think
convince everyone that he's not a prophet by doing all the things that God claims to do, and he can do them.
it's a comedy,
Yeah,
and that
Very,
comes out this
very
year,
strong.
comes out next year.
next year. Okay, yeah.
Oh, that. I thought December at first.
But yeah, that sounds good. I think yeah, we were talking about it, Cam, but yeah, this year has been very good for comedies, and I'm very happy to see that. So I hope next year continues with that trend because obviously that's a comedy. I don't know what else we got coming up for comedies, but
We,
I think Dumb Money is just kind of a dramedy, and
Yeah.
that's
yeah,
coming up this weekend, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So we're excited
it's
for that
already,
one.
it's definitely receiving all the attention right now, and I'm very certain that it will not hold up on being as gruesome as it can, dialogue wise. I'm really excited to see it because Craig Gillespie, he's definitely one of the more underrated filmmakers,
Yeah.
at least to me.
Yeah, I mean, I just watched Cruella and he directed that. So I think honestly think Cruella, like direction wise, it's pretty great. I mean, oh, I forgot to mention it though, but like, sorry,
Yeah.
Cruella literally has an insane amount of needle drops and it kind of bothered me. Like that was like my main con of that movie, but literally every like 2 minutes there was a new song playing in the background, and it kind of just like once I figured it out, like once I told myself, oh man, there's a lot of needle drops in this movie, I literally could not ignore them, and I still had like an hour left in the movie, and there was like 20 more songs, and I was like, oh my god, bro, there's so many needle drops.
I found the movie. It's called The Book of Clarence.
Oh, the book,
That's right.
the Keith Stanfield movie.
Yeah.
It's up.
Yeah,
The
he's
name
great.
definitely gives it away. It's a giveaway. I really have. I really did like. I love Cruella though. Cruella was definitely one of the better live action movies Disney came out with.
For sure. I think like live action remakes, or is that that's not really even a remake, but like one of their live action reimaginings, I guess, is it's definitely up there for sure. I really didn't mind Little Mermaid. That was like pretty good this year. I thought that was pretty fun. But I'd never watched Mulan because I love Mulan too much and I don't want to see it slandered, and I sat my way through The Lion King, but I didn't enjoy a second of it. So,
I mean,
but so yeah, Cruella is pretty good on the
it's the
Disney
case.
reimagining.
Yeah. That's.
I mean, we can't. I'll let Zach continue.
Oh no, I wasn't going to say anything.
I gotta praise the Jungle Book though. The Jungle Book from John Favreau though, I can't disagree with that one. I do love the original though.
Yeah, I forgot about that movie, but yeah, Jungle Book is pretty great. Forgot
Mhm.
about that.
I think Idris Elba, and I forgot the actor who is the original actor of Shere Khan.
I don't know, but I thought Bill Murray was really good in that movie as well, as Baloo,
George
and
Sanders. That's right. I wanted to give a little bit of lore also away for anyone who listens though, but George Sanders, he also was the voice of I think of the talking skull in Pirates of the Caribbean in the ride at Disneyland before you go down the drop for the snapshot. I think that's one of the more interesting parts about him being Shere Khan, that he just has a big future with Disney behind him.
Mm, yeah.
Mm.
all right. Is there anything else, boys, that we would like to discuss?
I do not believe so.
Okay, are we gonna go ahead and cut it off then?
I guess so. Alright, thank you
Sounds all right.
guys so much for watching our podcast today. We hope you enjoyed it and have a lovely life.